All right, Travis, we have talked about this before. What is coming out this year in 2021? What is going to be the best thing that we're going to see, and what is going to be the worst thing we're going to see? And all of this is comic book related. So, our top 20 picks coming at you right now. I'm Peel.
And I'm Travis, and this is the Travis and Peel Show.
All right, my man, here we are. We
All
got a
right.
list of the content that's supposed to be coming out here in 2021. We're going to go through this list, give a little bit of our opinions, the things that we're looking forward to, some of our insight on how we think this is going to pan out going forward. And then we're going to choose our favorite and the one that we think is going to flop. So, Travis, my man, take it off number one. Obviously, we're already in WandaVision, so let's start there.
Yeah, so we're deep into WandaVision. It's no, if you're following our videos, it is no secret that we are really, really gelling with this show. It is one of the most original and creative things that the MCU is doing right now. And it's actually right now the highest rated MCU property on Metacritic right now. Highest rated out of all the movies. So a lot of people are really digging this series. I cannot say it's a big list, so there's a ton of things that you can say that could possibly be like objectively better than WandaVision going forward. There's a lot of cool movies and shows coming out, but as of right now, WandaVision has set a mighty, mighty high bar just with a great story, fantastic acting, awesome twist on genres, like
Originality.
yeah, originality for sure. There's no question. If you can find one thing in the MCU that is more original than WandaVision, I don't know. Like, I'll give you $1. You're not going to find it. This is the most
I'll
original
buy that
thing
for $1.
for show. So next up, Falcon and Winter Soldier. Peel, what are your thoughts? I've given opinions about Falcon and Winter Soldier before.
All right, so Falcon and Winter Soldier obviously coming up right after WandaVision. I am stoked about this. This is going to be kind of the the next jump from WandaVision. Obviously, we have this like great, cinematic new wave type deal, and then we're going to go right into action. It's going to be a lot of story, a lot of kick-ass moments. I believe only 6 episodes altogether, but all like an hour each. So it's going to be a really exciting time. I'm looking forward to see what new content's going to come out. Obviously, how the story unfolds, continuing on from WandaVision, and then what new things are going to lead up to what we're going to face here in Phase 4.
Do you think the action heavy set pieces, like episode by episode by episode, do you think that basically 6 episodes of Captain America Civil War or Winter Soldier style of show, do you think that's going to be
No,
enough?
I just think that there's going to be plenty. There's going to be plenty of that in each episode, but I don't think it's going to be not going to be nonstop, like balls to the wall. But you're going to get good story and you're going to get good intense sequences. That's going to be action filled and driven.
And it looks like you have that buddy cop thing going on with Falcon and Winter Soldier as well. They're always they're always good for a chuckle or two and everything when they're paired together. And so I'm interested. The most thing I'm interested in, I want to see the whole thing because apparently the government's not going to be okay with Falcon, who's technically still a fugitive, becoming Captain America. So they're going to create their own Captain America with John Walker, U.S. agent, I believe is his
U.S.
name.
agent.
Yeah, so that's going to be really interesting. So I think this is high on my list as well, just because it's MCU. I have all the faith in them right now. They have not steered us wrong. Coming up next is one that I'm really excited about, especially because Sony's doing a lot of cool stuff with Marvel now. They're actually they're holding hands respectfully. But Morbius could be really cool. My main concern is that I don't know where I'm at with Jared Leto right now. I don't know if I find him brilliant, or I don't know if I find him he insists upon himself too much. I don't know if he is just a little too incessant with his style of acting. I've heard people mention on set. I haven't heard it, but there are reports of people on set being like, I just can't handle this guy when he's on set. I don't know if that is something that I just don't know how I feel about him. So him being Morbius, I guess I need to see some trailers. But right now, this is something that, aside from the possibility of them tying in some Spider-Man and Venom content in their movie, I'm not very interested in Morbius. So what are your thoughts?
I'm going to differ with you on that. I am excited about this, and I
Okay.
think Jared Leto playing this deep, dark creature is going to be something really great, and it's also going to give him a different range of emotion of what's going to happen, like kind of going through as he becomes this like anti-hero type character.
Mm-hmm.
And hopefully, it gives us some good unlock and matching to things that they're doing in the MCU via Blade and of course Spider-Man multiverse. So I think this is all going to slowly tie in, and hopefully, like you said, holding hands, this is going to come forward and be beneficial to us, the fans.
Cool.
So yeah, after Morbius, man, we've gotten the first trailer, Zack Snyder's Justice League.
Yeah, the Snyder Cut. It's a month away. Are you? Did you like? Do you like the DC movies at all? Do you like Aquaman, Justice League, Batman v
Okay,
Superman?
so this is gonna. I thought the first Wonder Woman was probably the best thing that they put out. I really liked it. I thought it was put together very
Mm-hmm.
well. I thought they did a great job with it, true to the
Mm-hmm.
character and things like that. The other movies had moments in it that were, good, very
Sure.
entertaining. Um, but overall, yeah, DC has slacked a little bit. Like there's just some duds in there for me. Suicide Squad was one of those for me. The whole Emancipation of Harley Quinn, or Birds of Prey, Wonder Woman 2, and yeah, even the Justice League, the Josh Whedon version that came out in theaters. It was it was rough, but with that being said, I am very excited about the Snyder Cut. It looks very intense and a very different feel to it. And
Mm-hmm.
they were going to get more content with these characters that I kind of wanted to see in this movie, because it wasn't like the characters are bad. Like I love Ben Affleck as Batman.
I do
I
too.
love Jason Momoa as Aquaman. Like I love their picks.
Mm-hmm.
But they just they couldn't put it together, man. And then all
Mm-hmm.
this inner bickering and everything. I hope that really does stick and some things do come of this. But I am looking forward to seeing the Snyder Cut of Justice League.
Yeah, I'm excited to see this film. I didn't hate Justice League. I didn't like it as much as Batman v Superman. I actually like Batman v Superman quite a bit. And it's got its opportunities, but there are way more cons. I mean, way more pros than there are cons with Batman v Superman. Justice League, I was a little bit. I'm with you on that. Like it has really really great pieces, and the sum is what was lacking. And I think that
Mhm.
what Snyder is going to be doing with this version is fixing that part of it. I think it's going to be really cool, and adding some new things too, because they definitely did some reshoots for the for the new cut. So
Right.
I have high hopes, but I am very very cautious going into this. The good news is that we don't have to go to a movie theater, because in 1 month we're going to get it on HBO Max, which is really really nice.
Indeedly do.
And another thing that we're going to be able to watch right here in the comfort of our home is Loki. I am very excited about Loki. Um, he had a heartbreaking into his arc in Infinity War, and then to
Mhm.
turn it around in Endgame and allow him to still technically be alive and have more adventures and cause hijinks, if you will.
Yeah,
I
great character.
yeah, and Hiddleston is. I don't know if there's anyone else that could play that role. I don't know. And Loki is one of my favorite characters in the MCU. I'm a villains guy, so he is definitely in my top
Mm.
three of MCU villains. Very complex character, very sympathetic, but he has done a lot of wrong and killed a lot of people. So um, I'm really
Yeah, he has
excited.
made
This,
himself MCU like Joker. For the
yeah,
most
yeah,
part,
yeah,
he's
yeah, yeah,
mischievous and fun, but as much as he is crazy and doing all these things, you still kind of root for him and like him.
yeah, for sure.
I don't know. It might be just me, but he does a great job. And Loki's definitely been a fun character in the MCU. I too am looking forward to this. I think I have really high hopes, and I think this is not going to disappoint. And more story and content from different ranges, areas, and worlds from the MCU. So
Hmm.
we're going to get so much good content coming from all these different sources, all these shows, and of course the movies. And of course, speaking about MCU movies, Black Widow finally. That's the only thing I have to say about this is Black Widow finally. Can we get this now? Can we go ahead and watch it? Been waiting over a year pretty much.
It looks like that Kevin Feige's not a big fan of the idea of this movie being released to streaming. He wants it only in the theaters. I get that. I understand it.
Mhm.
Um, Melissa and I haven't talked about this recently. I am mad at this movie. Not that it's been delayed countless times. Not that that the movie doesn't look good. I'm mad more or less. I mean, if there's anything that I'm mad at Marvel or the MCU about, it's this movie. This movie should have came out after Civil War. The fact that she had such a strong emotional ending to her arc in Endgame, only to in Marvel's original plans, they were supposed to kick off Phase 4 with this movie. And it never really gelled with me, the fact that we're going to kick off Phase 4 with a movie that is a flashback that is going to almost do nothing for the future except for give us a new Black Widow. But it's all going to be told in the past. I just feel that
it could set up other characters and backstories for things that are going to come out there in the next phase.
The important thing is the new Black Widow. I think. I mean, maybe like it could be a good intro to the bad guy. What's his face? I'm drawing a blank. But anyway, like it could do some stuff for the future. But for the most part, it's
Taskmaster?
just Taskmaster. Thank you. It is going. It's one big like movie paying homage to Scarlett Johansson because she deserved it. She deserved this goddamn movie years ago. And the fact that they're doing it now, it just kind of feels like a shoehorn in. And then like they're kind of like dangling this movie, like poor Scarlett Johansson, man. I just feel bad for her, I guess, as an actress. Like she deserved this movie a long time ago, and now the movie's just dangling and
Yeah, she made plenty of money, and I feel bad for her.
I don't know,
like, but a movie that is near and dear to my heart that I am looking very much to is Venom: Let There Be Carnage. This, the first Venom movie, obviously no real ties or anything with the MCU. Venom also didn't have his, signature white spider symbol across his chest, but he did have some really other cool effects. And the story itself and the way they put it together and the way the interaction between the actual symbiote and Eddie Brock was fantastic.
Tom Hardy was great.
The movie was very exciting. Yeah, Tom Hardy was great.
Amazing.
I mean, what has Tom Hardy been in that he hasn't been great?
Bane.
But he was great as Bane.
Bane was fucking terrible, dude. I'm sorry. Bane was a mess. Bane was. Bane was bad.
We're on Venom now, and Venom is going to be fantastic. So we're going to get Woody Harrelson in here as Carnage. We're going to get a lot of great, just Venom havoc just wreaking throughout this movie. And so I'm really looking forward to it. And supposedly, the little tie-ins that we've seen, kind of like Morbius, Spider-Man, this and that, backseat talks and everything. So I really hope they come through and give us some good connection, because I want to see this character with the MCU. Like Venom is such one of my favorites. He's a great character, a great anti-hero, and a very big, powerful force to deal with. So I hope that they really do this right, bring it into the fold.
Yeah, I love Venom 1 as well. I know that movie has a lot of opportunities. It didn't have a great villain. There were a couple of things that could have been better. The CG was a little too CG in certain, especially in the final fight as well. But overall, I was pretty happy with the movie. And honestly, it was all Tom Hardy for me. I think he carried that movie really, really strongly. But another movie that is going to be very interesting because it's a brand new IP, or a brand new IP for the MCU itself, is Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. The Marvel movies, whether you believe so or not, they're all genre films. Your Captain America movies are your 007 spy films. Your Spider-Man movies are your high school, dramas, like young adult dramas and stuff like that. And Shang-Chi is going to give us our first Kung Fu movie, which is really great. Marvel style. So we got Kung Fu with superpowers. So I'm really excited about this one. Shang-Chi, I'm not very familiar with this comic counterpart. But the fact that we're actually going to be getting the real Mandarin in this movie, and he's actually going to be directly talking about, directly pointing to the past fake Mandarin that we got back in the day, because apparently that pissed him off, knowing that there was a fake Mandarin out there. So I'm excited for this movie. I think it's going to be really cool. I mean, in terms of inclusivity, having an Asian American lead doing this role. I mean, Marvel and Disney, that's important for them, as it should be. But just the fact that we get a great Kung Fu movie, it kind of gives us an opportunity to kind of be wowed again with Kung Fu. It's been a while since a good Kung Fu movie has kind of floored me in the movie theater. Honestly, The Matrix is the last Kung Fu movie in a movie theater that I could think of that floored me. So it's been quite some.
Or
It's
like
been
Kung Fu Hustle, just because it was so over the top and fun.
right, right. Yeah, Kung Fu Hustle was pretty great. So Shang-Chi could be cool. Could be cool. And
Yeah,
with
and
the Mandarin, good.
with Marvel getting everything back from Netflix and kind of getting Iron Fist back into the fold, this is going to be able to open up that world and segment of these kind of like martial art mystic powers that kind of come through in the MCU.
Right.
So this is going to be a good lead into it. It's going to explain a lot like it always does, and
Hmm.
everybody's like, "Oh, why are we doing this with a character I don't really know?" Overall speaking, Ant-Man wasn't a big character either, and that's one of my favorite Marvel movies.
I got news for you.
It's going to be about the actors.
Iron Man was not a big character, and look where he's at now. Like Iron Man's fucking huge. So
He is the man.
yeah, for sure. Man, okay. So this is one that's I'll just spoil it right ahead. This is high up on my list. The man is James Gunn, and he is doing the Suicide Squad. So when he got fired for his social media mishaps, and before he got brought back, DC just snagged him immediately and was like, "You're doing Suicide Squad." Immediately. So this is why we have not received the third Guardians movie yet, or at least they haven't started filming it yet, because he's been busy doing the Suicide Squad. I cannot wait. I was already excited about this reboot because the first Suicide Squad movie was so bad. Like, okay, David Ayer, I feel like did a decent job with the characters, with the set pieces. That movie got a really, really bad edit. That movie could be better if it was recut.
Fair enough.
It could be better because the pacing is just way off. Like, the movie's funny. It's got fun characters. It's got good action. It just needs to be reworked. The pacing's way off.
It felt so forced.
It completely forced. Suicide Squad with James Gunn, rebooting the franchise. The characters are crazy insane. They are full like golden age comic book shiny bright costumes and everything. The cast is humongous. Tons of AAA names. In some characters coming back. I can't wait for this movie. I think James Gunn's gonna knock a home run out of here. I will at least make this prediction. This will be the best DC thing all year. Easily, it'll be the
most
best.
likely. And of course, they already had the spinoff with John Cena and the Peacemaker.
That's
going
right.
into HBO Max.
That's
During
right.
a series, so it's already making waves in future things. So yeah, I think it's gonna be fun and exciting. And then we go into something that I think is gonna have a lot of fun. It's gonna be the animated What If series, and this is we're gonna explore the comic book stories. What if the zombie super story happened, and then you have just zombie Captain America and all this other kind of craziness. And everything recorded in this series that's Black Panther related was Chadwick. So this is going to be his last, real role as Black Panther.
That's right. He
so
filmed.
This is going to be the last little bit that we get.
He recorded. He recorded all his voices for that. That is right. That is true. That's going to be. God, it's still so hard to go back and watch Black Panther since he died. Like I've done a complete rewatch of like the entire MCU post his death. I cannot make myself watch Black Panther. I get too sad. I get way too sad. I need more time. Don't know what it is.
Yeah,
but
take your time. We're gonna have a little bit.
What If looks really, really cool. I think this has some opportunity for some hits and some misses. They're going to be following, like each episode is going to be following one movie, and it's going to be a what if on each movie. So like for instance, for Captain America, it's going to be what if Peggy Carter got the super soldier serum instead of Steve Rogers, and it's gonna show like Britain essentially having like Captain America instead of America having it. So that could be an interesting storyline, and they're gonna do a bunch of stuff like that. So we have no clue. They haven't really given us too much. We've got one trailer, but we don't know what's gonna happen with Iron Man. We don't know what's gonna happen with Guardians of the Galaxy. We don't know what's gonna happen with any of these. So it'll be
fun.
Well, actually, we kind of do know what's gonna happen with Guardians of the Galaxy because T'Challa gets picked up in the spaceship instead of Quill,
Right.
and T'Challa becomes Star-Lord, which is really interesting. So I think What If could be cool, but again, there's going to be so many episodes and so many different topics of discussion that there could be some misses there. But I think it's really cool, and I love animated anthologies. It's going to be fun.
And the next one coming up is going to be Eternals. That's going to be a really kind of heavy hitting cast of characters and heavy hitting characters themselves. The Eternals are going to be these galactic beings and everything. So I mean, once again, seeing a different side of Marvel, and the kind of mystic and interstellar things that they
Hmm.
bring into their world, and we're going to see that come forth. Now with the Eternals, which is going to be really fun. Like I said, a lot of big names. You got Selma Hayek, you got Kit Harington. So there's going to be a lot of people coming into the
Yeah,
Angelina
Kit
Jolie.
Harington.
It's
We're
gonna,
gonna
it's
get
gonna be fun.
Kit Harington's gonna be Black Knight. That's gonna be a fun character.
Mhm.
That's gonna be a fun character to have in the MCU and everything. So
Typecast.
yeah, for sure. I am really excited about this. If you folks don't like the cosmic side of the MCU with Guardians is great, but like if you don't like anything with space, like you're going to really be bummed out about this, because this is going to be like twice as cosmic as anything that the MCU's done before and everything. Like some really, really like powerful celestial
High
beings.
level stuff.
Yeah, so it's going to be I think a really good movie. The cast of characters are strong, and I think Marvel is really banking on this movie to be a hit, because going forward with their plans is going to be a big focus on space, and a lot of the I think we're going to see Galactus in the next phase or two. I think we're going to see like these big threats that are bigger than Earth.
Get the Silver Surfer in. Yep, everything's gonna be coming full force.
So the Eternals are going to help lead that push. If not, we're probably going to see some serious introductions by way of the Eternals and everything, because there's a lot of stuff that they can unlock in the
A lot
MCU
of big bads
going
out
forward.
there.
Yeah. Jonathan Peele, when we talk about near and dear to our hearts, there is not many that are as near and dear as Spider-Man 3.
Say it again.
Spider-Man 3. I'm going to be objective here. Now, I am massively excited for Spider-Man 3. Massively excited.
It's gonna be all right.
I am concerned that they love to fucking do with every third Spider-Man movie is give us too much. And there are leaks, there are thoughts out there that we're going to be having the Raimi Green Goblin, we're going to have the Raimi Doc Ock, we're going to have the Raimi Spider-Man, we're going to have the second Spider-Man, we're going to have our
Electro.
current Spider-Man, we're going to have Electro. And I'm like, whoa.
From Amazing, yep.
Guys, pump the fucking brakes. Let's continue. I thought this was supposed to be like a high school trilogy. You know what I mean? Like, and we're really taking this, like, I'm just concerned if the leaks are all true. I feel like this movie is unnecessarily too large. Now, if they pull it off, fucking bravo. But right now, they are doing the thing that I didn't want them to do, was go too big with too many characters. What's been great about the first two Spider-Men of the MCU has been they've been personal stories. They've been smaller tales, smaller pieces of a much bigger universe, and I like that, because Spider-Man is at his best. Like, Spider-Man's great in Endgame and Infinity War. He's awesome, but he shines when he's the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. That's always been his greatest, like when he's like fighting, bad guys, but at the same time he's fighting a social life and fighting, trying to like fighting his love life back and forth. Like, that's when Spider-Man is so great. And I feel like we are going to be opening up the multiverses in this movie and just throwing way too much. So those are my concerns. My hopes are high, but I am worried that they could be doing a little bit too much. But I think the movie will be good.
I think we're going to get the Spider-Man story over a few films. I don't think it's just going to be, this one movie. And it is going to have a lot of his social interactions. He's going to be on the run. He's going to be dealing with a lot of things that are going to transpire going forward. Also, not having Iron Man, having to step up more as a leader. And of course, everything else is going to be opening up. Things are going to happen from Falcon and Winter Soldier. Things are going to happen from WandaVision. So yeah, it's going to be a lot of material, but I think it's going to be spread through a lot of different films. This is just going to be a catalyst for something that's going to be big for Spider-Man across the next few films that are going to be going through. I think obviously we put all of our faith in the MCU and Marvel and Kevin Feige, so I'm not going to stop doing that now. I'm done questioning them. I did it at the beginning a lot, but you know what? It's all panning out. They haven't disappointed me yet, so it's not a DCU movie. So it's going to be fantastic, and I have no qualms with how anything they want to put in there. If you want to put the entire cast of the other movies in there, go ahead, make it happen, make it brilliant.
Okay. Coming up next, something that I think is brilliant and I've been waiting for a long time is Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson finally getting in a superhero movie, and we're gonna get that with Black Adam.
Years,
Yeah, it's
been talking about this.
Yeah, so this is something that The Rock's been wanting to do for a long time, and it's finally happening. It's gonna be jumping off the back of Shazam, which was a super surprise hit for me. I really enjoyed the Shazam movie.
It wasn't bad.
Yeah, I really liked it. And Black Adam is kind of going to kind of hop off the back of Shazam. And I'm sorry, like anything The Rock, I'm in for. Like I was talking with Melissa about this. Like we watched like Rampage or something, and I'm like, why is this movie good? Like, why? Rampage should not
he's the
be
most
good.
entertaining man.
He is. Like since we were in high school. Since we were in high school, he has been one of the most entertaining, fun to watch, and brilliant actors. Whether he was in wrestling or moving up into films, like he had a couple of movies, like a couple of stinkers. But for the most part, anything that he's done in the last like 10 years, like since he's like been taking over the summer blockbuster role from Will Smith, like he's like 15 for 15. Like his movies are fun. Like some of his movies may not be great. Like I wouldn't say Rampage is great, but they're really, really fun and they're really good. Like I enjoyed the hell out of it.
Or something like that.
That one was good too. No, that one was good too, man. Look, The Rock is just good. And people know how to write for Rock.
Rock.
So
All right,
Black Adam is going to be great.
I think that we've talked about this, obviously just like on the phone or whatever, before not doing the show, but The Umbrella Academy. Really got into it, really enjoyed it, fun time. And we got season 3 is going to be coming out. So I'm looking forward to getting this cast of characters and seeing where they pick up at the end of season 2. So this is something that I think is going to be really fun, a good watch through. And it is going to be on Netflix. So boom, it's going to be a good little binge.
Umbrella Academy season 1 was good. It did not grab me. I could not tell you how that show ended. I know I watched it all the way to the end, but I couldn't tell you how it ended. So it didn't like stay with me. So that being said, when season 2 came out, I didn't jump into it. I will jump into it soon because I do need to play catch up for season 3 because I'm interested in it. And I also want to go back and read some of the graphic novels too. I heard they're pretty good. Oh, yeah. So season 3, apparently a lot of people like it on Netflix. I need to catch up and watch it.
Get on it.
Oh boy. Oh boys.
Oh boy. The Boys.
I think this is going to be
season 3.
I think this is going to be very high on our list. We did a story about The Boys season 3 because they're going to be doing the Hero-gasm storyline for at least one of these episodes. So you know me, I am very, very high on this. The more they adapt the brilliant comic series, the better for me personally. Season 1 was good. Season 2 was gooder. And I think season 3 is going to be great. I can't wait. I don't know what else to say about The Boys. I can't wait.
The gooderist.
Yeah. You like The Boys a lot. I know that.
Oh yeah, I loved it. Like I sing his praises, celebrate the whole catalog. Nothing to be said except for bring it on, 100%. Going into that, actually a series that I just finished on Audible, The Sandman. Really different DC.
I want to see what they can do with this. Sandman's one of those things. It's one of those shows that it's going to be one of those shows where if you don't know much about the comics, don't catch up. Just enjoy the show because enjoy it. Yeah, it could be interesting. Go in blind. Don't know anything about Sandman. It could be cool. It could be really, really cool. Miss Marvel, my dark horse, man. This is my dark horse. Miss Marvel's kind of like one of the newer big Marvel superheroes. She came up 7-8 years ago in the comics and everything, and just people completely fell in love with her. It's going to be our first Pakistani American superhero. She is going to be a part of the Young Avengers. You know, we're going to see Wiccan, Speed. We're going to see Kate Bishop coming in here, and then Miss Marvel's going to join them eventually. She's also going to be in Captain Marvel 2, so the Miss Marvel show is going to tie in with a lot of MCU content. So there's going to be a lot of cool ties here, and it's going to be a great coming-of-age story about this girl who just dreams about being a superhero. She's infatuated with them, and what happens when they finally become one. In their adolescence. It's going to be, you know, they did a great job with Spider-Man of not giving us Peter Parker's origin story all over again. So I'm glad they didn't do that, but it'll be nice to get an adolescent superhero origin story back into the MCU, because since we skipped it with Spider-Man.
They're going to have to, because a lot of people don't know her.
A lot of people don't know her. She is new, but she is going to be a joy. I love their casting, and I think it's going to be fantastic. It's one of my more highly anticipated
and you can
shows.
kind of play through a semi-what version of her origin story by playing the Avengers game that came out on the PS4
she's the
Xbox
only good thing
One.
about that video game. So yeah, if you want to know about Miss Marvel, play the video game.
No, the game overall was fun. It just did not have replayability. It was a cool game. Just did lack the replayability of what the whole game was meant to be.
And it was the whole game was meant to be.
It was a cool playthrough.
Yeah, I don't know. That game was flat for me, but
It was a good story too. I liked it.
Yeah.
And then after that we get Hawkeye, like you just mentioned, little Kate Bishop, coming in. We had Hawkeye. This is going to be, once again, another tie-in of all the stories of what's happened, because we have Barton in there and everything. But it's going to go forward with what's coming new, the new generation, the new phase. So once again, great tie-in, and the Marvel Universe is putting all of its little pieces together to set you up for greatness.
Yeah, they're basically adapting or semi-adapting the Matt Fraction Hawkeye run, where he's stabbed in the ear and he loses half of his hearing, and he has to get and of course, if you don't have your hearing, that would affect his ability to shoot a bow and arrow because his equilibrium's off. So that's why he goes into training Kate Bishop and everything. So we're probably going to get that storyline. I'm pumped for that. This is going to be a really, really good, you got the buddy cop thing. You got the taking a kid under your wing thing. You have, Haley Steinfeld, who's going to join the Young Avengers. This is a really big year for the Young Avengers, man. It just hit me that we're essentially announcing 4 of their core
laying
members.
the groundwork.
Yeah, really, really big. So where we're at in the next couple of years, next 2 or 3 years, we're going to look back and say 2021 was fucking huge for where we're at that point and everything. But Hawkeye is going to be fantastic, I think. I love Jeremy Renner in that role. I think he is more funnier in that role than people give him credit for. I liked how he's coming off of this dark turn as Ronin. He gets his family back, so it's going to kind of be like coming off of the loss of Natasha, coming off of the loss, and then the recovery of his family, and then I'm sure he's just exhausted from
everything.
Endgame, from everything,
because he's not a soup.
Yeah, so I'm really interested in what this could be. I actually have higher hopes about Hawkeye, a little bit higher than I do about Falcon and Winter Soldier, just a little bit. I like Hawkeye a lot.
That's a bold statement. You willing to take the Pepsi with that, my friend?
I am willing to take the Pepsi challenge with that. I'll take the Coca-Cola challenge with that, my friend. But that is our list of the main ones.
Here we are.
Yeah, so there's a couple of things that we left out. I know a lot of people, if you're watching this, if you like the shows, type them in there, give them an honorable mention in the comments and everything. We didn't put the CW shows here, or at least I didn't put them up here when I was making this list. I'm not a huge fan of the CW shows. I don't have the attention span for like 24 episodes a season. I can't. I don't have the mental the brain span for that. It's too much.
But we're
TV.
talking about big blockbusters. Those are still like small time TV. They haven't really been adapted yet to like the bigger side of the silver screen, where they actually are putting in big work to the universe.
Yeah, for sure. So that being said, this is our list, for better or for worse, and now we're going to talk about what is going to be our if we're going to make a prediction of what will be the best and what will be the worst out of all of these. And then probably at the end of the year, we're going to come back and be like, okay, were we right or were we wrong? So we'll kind of revisit these predictions. So do you have like a front runner you don't even have to think about for best or worst?
I mean, there's personal connections to everything that's going on here.
Objectively, like you have
Um, Objectively looking at this on paper, to really run down through this list, what I'm expecting to be one of the best things. You know what? Let me say the best movie I think that is going to come out of this is going to be Spider-Man 3.
okay, that's being objective. That's not like your love for Spider-Man clouding your thoughts.
100% objective.
100% objective. Spider-Man 3 is up there high for me. Between all these movies and TV shows, if I would have to guess and say what will be, and you got to think WandaVision, WandaVision's setting a bar that's so damn high right now.
Very high bar.
Very, very high bar. But if I were to say what is going to be like my favorite one of these movies, not my favorite, not my personal favorite, but what is like the general masses overall favorite movie going to be? You have to remember this, like Far From Home was not in that category. It was great and we loved it. Most people like it, but it wasn't the best superhero movie that came out that year. And I think it could be the same situation here. So I will go ahead and say, and this is going to sound crazy, I think Suicide Squad is going to be the best comic book movie this year. Movie slash TV show. And WandaVision is going to, I almost want to give them like a number one, but I'll say number one, Suicide Squad. Number two,
number one TV show.
No, I'm grouping it like what's the number one comic book thing this year? It could be movie or the TV show. Like we're not going to separate that. It's just
okay. Yeah. So what's your pick for last? What do you think is totally just going to shit the bed?
I want to say, I think Sandman's going to be cool. I do think Falcon and Winter Soldier is still going to be cool. I don't think it's going to reach the heights as WandaVision. I think it'll still be good. God, it's between Snyder Cut and Morbius, to be honest with you.
Well, it's like you already know that Justice League kind of sucks, so it can't get worse, right?
Right, yeah, especially when you're talking about expectations. But the thing is, it's going to get better. It's going to be better. I think it's safely going to be better than the original Justice League, so I think that'll at least put it up as like one of the better. God, I'm looking at Loki too as like possibly one of the better ones. Yeah, I'm going to still keep it at Suicide Squad. I have too much faith in James Gunn. I think he's going to kill it. They gave him full autonomy. Like they gave him a blank check.
What's your worst?
I think Umbrella Academy is going to be good still. Yeah, I think Morbius. I there's something about that movie. I just don't know if it's going to be good, and I don't have a lot of faith in Jared Leto. I think he thinks he's way better than he actually is. Like he's got a couple of great movies. Like Dallas Buyers Club. He's fantastic in, but like that's one of the only movies where I can be like brilliant Jared Leto.
Requiem for a Dream.
That movie's fine. Movie's
crazy intense.
Yeah, it is intense for sure. Morbius. Yeah, I think Morbius has the highest chance of being the worst movie, worst comic movie of the year or show.
All right, so for myself, I think the big dud that I really see on this list for 2021's lineup, I want to be in line with you where I know I really want it to be good, but I think Morbius is kind of there where it's like, I think it's set up to fail because they made it before a lot of interaction started happening between like the Spider-Man groups and stuff like that. So yeah, and it has been pushed back a good bit. So Morbius is probably going to be the dud for me as well.
All right. So there you go. Our worst, we share Morbius. And then for our best, I have Suicide Squad and you have Spider-Man 3, which I can't hate you. Can't hate you for that, man.
You can't.
No. All right. So why don't you finish this up? I think we're all set.
All right, great. With that being said, let us know what your top picks are. If there's anything like we told you earlier left off the list, let us know which ones you would like for us to discuss. We'll get back into it, talk to you on Facebook, YouTube, whatever it may be. Make sure that you like, subscribe, share, and yeah, see you the next time.